Let's look at some NFL draft quickly, Colin. Fernando Mendoza, presumptive #1 pick, less than 4 weeks away from the draft. And according to Daniel Jeremiah, Mendoza has been getting to work with Brian Griese to install Clint Kubiak's offense. And Jeremiah added that Mendoza is full speed ahead on making sure he's up to speed when he's eventually drafted by the Raiders. I'm sure some of this is just Mendoza geeking out on being a pro. But I think some of it is probably this nonsense that, oh, yeah, maybe they go get Kirk Cousins to start and Mendoza will come in when he's ready, which I think is total nonsense. Well, but I like Mendoza. He's ready to go. This is not some young kid who's inexperienced. 3-year college starter. Let's go. Get him under center week 1.
Yeah, I mean, this is why I think he is. I think a lot of times we pay so much attention to the physical part of quarterback play. But I'll give an example. Aaron Rodgers no longer runs. Aaron Rodgers isn't that committed in the offseason. But Aaron Rodgers, just on intellect and situational excellence, goes to the Steelers, and they went from an awful red zone offense to one of the top 5 or 6 in the league. How? They didn't have a top 5 O-line. They didn't have a top 5 receiving core. So much of this sport is above the shoulders. And yes, it's great to have, a big arm and be able to move. But Lamar Jackson's not winning playoff games. I'm not blaming anybody, but if you start looking at what works in this league, it's great offensive coaching. It's total commitment. It is, it's just doing stuff off the field. And I mean, again, Drake May's got great physical tools. Mahomes has great physical tools. But even a Mahomes, if you give him no run game and a bad offensive line, can get walloped. So when I look at Mendoza, everybody's like, well, he's a little stiff. He's not that mobile. All I know is he's big, has great ball placement, and is like Brady obsessed with the sport. Yeah. I'm good. That's a Pro Bowl level quarterback if he gets any coaching.
Totally agree. And I'm sure some people's heads exploded when you said Lamar Jackson's not winning playoff games. Yeah. I just did a quick check. 3-5 in the playoffs. So that's actually accurate. You're right. Lamar doesn't win in the playoffs.
I love him, and he's the most mobile quarterback in the history of the sport.
Yes.
That's great. But my whole point is Josh Allen, never been to a Super Bowl. He's the greatest athlete that's ever played quarterback. John Elway, before he had a run game, was getting blown out in Super Bowls. You can talk about all the physical gifts. Are you obsessed by football? Do you have the right offensive coach who lets you play but has structure? So much of this sport is before the game starts. And that's not to say that Lamar and Josh Allen and John Elway weren't committed, but they're all ridiculously hyper athletic. And Josh and Lamar can't get to Super Bowls. And I would argue they're the 2 most talented quarterbacks in the last 10 years.
Yes. I want to take this clip in a different direction, but I'm just going to let it go. I'll just let it slide because it's always funny that someone like Jalen Hurts gets criticized for having a strong supporting cast, but then it's like, well, even Patrick Mahomes can't win without a running game, man. And it's like, okay. But yeah, Fernando Mendoza, first off, there would be absolutely nothing wrong with bringing in a Kirk Cousins. I'm not saying they're going to do that or they should or they shouldn't, but what do people not understand? This takes time. Being developed, having a veteran presence, learning from a Kirk Cousins is amazing, incredible. It sets you up for massive success. When did we become so allergic to learning and growing and evolving and being coached? Whether it's from a seasoned veteran quarterback who's obviously in his mentor-protege era, or having a legitimate coach. When did we want to rush? He has 3 seasons, he's ready to go, throw him in there. And it's like, calm down, calm down. These things take time. Take a deep breath. It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And I'm telling you right now, I'm calling it. Fernando Mendoza is going to be special. I'm calling it right now. He's going to be special. I believe it in my bones. He's going to be special. He's going to be an elite top quarterback in the NFL. I am planting that flag right now. I've been very pro Mendoza and a big believer in him, but I don't think he said it that strongly yet. I truly believe he is going to be a special quarterback. And I believe that the Las Vegas Raiders are actually supporting him. And make no mistake about it, when I factor in how great or not great I think a quarterback will be, I factor in the franchise heavily. If he got drafted to the Arizona Cardinals, I'd be like, I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he could be good. Like, I would not be able to say it as strongly as I'm saying it right now. And that's testament to how great the Las Vegas Raiders are doing right now, and the direction I believe they're going in, the decisions they're making, the moves they're making. I've just been consistently impressed. Consistently impressed. And I think that Fernando Mendoza, he's just simply going to work. He's going to be awesome. He's going to be a top quarterback in the NFL. I'm not going to look at Mendoza and say that Drake May can have all this success, that Bo Nix can have all this success, that Caleb can have all this success. Heck, even JJ McCarthy, like, he's so inconsistent right now, but when things are firing on all cylinders for him, he's had really nice play. He's had legitimate success. We've seen it. The problem with him is like, it either works or, oh my gosh, that doesn't work at all. What the heck am I watching right now? And so, you're just not going to tell me, and I'm just using the most recent drafted successful quarterbacks, you're just not going to tell me that Mendoza can't find his footing in the NFL. I just don't see it. I just don't see how it's possible at this point. I really don't. And again, the only way it would be possible is if he gets drafted to somewhere like the Arizona Cardinals. Or the New York Jets. Like, yeah. No. I think he can, I think he can be good. Yeah. I just think they're doing everything. And again, you do also have legitimate access to Tom Brady. That is going to be massive. Tom Brady wants to win, and he wants to win as an owner. He wants the Raiders to be an elite franchise right now. He is putting in the work and the energy and the money and the resources. Like, he is doing that. He is doing that. And so when Mendoza is going to be there are going to be conversations that Tom Brady is going to have with Mendoza that he won't have with other quarterbacks, whether it's the Josh Allens, the Jalen Hurtses, quarterbacks that I know he also talks to, but it's going to be different. I'm sure Tom Brady is the type of person who says to a Jalen Hurts or a Josh Allen or any of these other guys, the Mahomes, if there's anything you need, if there's anything, you reach out, text me anytime you want. I'm sure of it. I'd be surprised if not, he's obviously very likable, very personable guy. But I imagine Mendoza is really going to have his ear. He's really going to have a direct line there. Really be like, yo, I'm Tom Brady. You want to have some talks? Let's have some talks. You want to go over some film? Let's do it. Let's do it. And like, that's going to be huge, too. That's going to be huge. I just think there's too much going for Mendoza right now to imagine that he's not going to be insanely successful, which is why it's okay to take your time. There's no rush. I mean, again, think about how great Mahomes became. And yet, the Chiefs were like, it's okay. We're going to continue with Alex, it's okay. But again, when you look at all these other quarterbacks, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, like, I'm just trying to think of non-superstar, out-of-your-mind quarterbacks. Just look at the levels of success that a Jordan Love has had, that a Trevor Lawrence has had. Again, I'm not saying it's just been this perfect, linear path where they're MVP candidates, this, that, and the third, but just look around the league and see the levels of success that all these various quarterbacks have had. Because it's easy to point out a Josh Allen and a Patrick Mahomes and a Tom Brady, right? It's easy just to look at that, especially because the greatness is so clearly defined. We know Josh Allen is a monster. We know Lamar Jackson is like the most physically mobile quarterback we've ever seen, right? Those things are just very clear, very obvious, very distinct. But then I find it helpful to look around the league, look at the successes and the failures of a Jordan Love, of a Kirk Cousins. Just look around and see and use more recent examples. Don't go too far back. Don't go back to, well, Peyton Manning, I don't care about that. Doesn't matter anymore. That's too far away. Too far away. Too long ago. Just look at the NFL right now. Look at the quarterbacks that are having success right now. The Drake Mays, the Bo Nixes, the Jalen Hurtses, the Dak Prescotts, the Baker Mayfields, the Sam Darnolds, even the Geno Smiths, sorry Raiders fans, too soon, but even the Geno Smiths to a degree. Just look around. You're going to tell me that Fernando Mendoza can't do what Baker Mayfield does? He can't reach a Baker Mayfield level? Really? that's not a knock on Baker. It's really not. I promise you. But it's like, he can't reach a Baker Mayfield level? Of course he can. Of course he can. And he's going to be more supported than Baker had access to, at least early in his career. So, it's just like, I fail to see how this simply does not work. I fail to see how Fernando Mendoza isn't awesome in the NFL and doesn't have tremendous success with the Raiders. If I can see all these teams just turn it around in a snap of the fingers, why would that not be the case for the Raiders and Fernando Mendoza? What would make them different? What would make them unique and unable to do that? And you would say, well, the only thing you come up with is just made up history. Well, they haven't done since 19, and it's just like, that doesn't have anything to do with anything right now. It's 2026. I don't care what penned in 2004 or something. Doesn't mean anything to me. Again, if it was the same coach, same GM, then, okay, sure. It's not. That's not the case at all. You have a new regime. You have new ownership. You have new management. You have a new quarterback. You have a new coach. You have a new roster. You've got it all. Like, we very well could be entering an era where, listen, when you really think about it, who would have thought? Who would have thought that the Bengals, and again, the Bengals have been unfortunate because Joe Burrow with injuries and whatnot, but who would have thought that during a time the Bengals, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Chiefs were the four teams that people like, oh, they're so great, who can beat those four teams, they're so special. Who would have ever thought? Like, what? The Bengals? The Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens? The Ravens have the best argument, but a completely different brand of Ravens, obviously. Wait, what? Like, what about the Giants and the Eagles and the 49ers and the Cowboys? Like, those are the main teams we've known for the last 20 years or whatever, 30 years. Like, what? The Chiefs? What is it even? The Bengals? The Bengals can actually win a Super Bowl? Like, are you sure about that? And it's just like, I'm telling you, man, in the blink of an eye, it's going to be like the Titans and the Raiders, the Broncos, and you're just going to be like, wow, how did this happen right now? And you're going to point to moments like this. That's why, take your time. It's like, take your time. And that's what they're doing. And it's really smart. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Fernando Mendoza? The assumed to be number 1 overall pick. I think it's pretty much all but guaranteed. We can pretend like it's not. But let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions, let's get into some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here. I'd absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.